What's going on, guys? So, this week we've talked a little bit about what I think are mental keys for success. And I wanted to get into one today because I think it's something that people forget. It's a step that people forget to try to accomplish at the beginning. And that is that when people start training, when they start going to the gym, when they start doing calisthenics, when they start getting out and they maybe doing some cardio, whatever it is you're training, whatever modality you're training in, I think so many people forget to figure out what they're training for, right? And one of the big mistakes I think is that they'll give themselves a superficial rationalization. Okay, so what is a superficial rationalization? It's saying, hey, I want those abs. I want abs like that guy there on YouTube. I want to look like that guy, right? Or they'll say, you know what? I want to be strong and I want a 500-pound squat. And what they forget to ask themselves is why? Why do you want to look like that guy? Why do you want a 500-pound squat? Why would you want to look like that and not like anything else? And what it comes down to is this: we all get these images imposed on us from society, this kind of empty puzzle piece that we're supposed to fit in. And when you start to try to fit yourself into a puzzle piece, a few different things happen, right? You start to sacrifice certain things about yourself, about your personality. You start to sacrifice a little bit of what makes you, so that you can fit into that hole, that piece that you're trying to fill in. And when you do that too much, what happens is you're cutting off little pieces of yourself, and then eventually you end up giving up a whole lot, right? And so what happens, and what I see a lot of guys doing, is they end up trying to emulate the people they see here on YouTube. They try to emulate the people they see out there on the internet. And in doing so, they lose themselves a little bit. And that's not to say that somebody can't inspire you, that somebody can't motivate you, that somebody can't push you forward. But it is to say that there's a trap there, right? And the trap is buying into somebody else's ideals rather than developing your own ideals, rather than developing your own reasons why you want to train. And the reason why that trap is bad is because fads come in, fads go out. Things come into style, things go out of style. So if you're trying to emulate that person, if you're trying to be like that person, for a while you can be congruent with that person and you can try to emulate everything that person is doing, but you have your own life and things are going to happen in your life. Families, bills, kids, ambitions that you may have that might carry you to a different path. And when those things happen, what happens is we say, well, wait a minute, I am not able to do this anymore. I need to be responsible. I need to take care of myself. I need to do my thing. And so you grow up and you end up trying to fill this other puzzle piece. And when it happens, you start to give it up. So you give up the training, right? Why? Because training was a hobby you did when you were a kid. And now it's no longer important to you. It's not putting food on the table. Your kids are more important than training. Your wife is more important than training. Your career, your job, all this stuff is more important than training. But had you done that one thing at the beginning, had you started to understand that training, what you're training for, is to live a better life, not to emulate that person, not to be like that, not to be that thing that society's trying to tell you should be. Had you started to realize that fitness is something that could help you with anything you could do in your life, right? Going for goals, training to become stronger, training to become more endurant, training to be healthy, training so that your mind can be sharper, so that you can make better decisions as a person, so that you can be more responsible. Then training would have been a habit that you would have carried with you wherever you went, wherever you go, no matter what you're doing, no matter what your career is, no matter what your job is, because then you would know that training is meant to help you to train for life, right? Remember that. You're not training as a temporary thing. You're not training for a temporary goal. You're training for life. And you are the professional athlete at being you. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's not about trying to look like this for a short period of time. It's about being able to do whatever you want to do in this life. And training should make you a better parent, should make you better at your job, should make you better at your career, should make you better at all the things you do in this life. So take that first step. Remember why you're training and remember what you're training for. And if the answer is so I can look like that person or so I can be like that person, then think a little bit harder about why you're doing it. That's all I got for today, guys. I'll be back at you later this week with another video.